Okay, so good morning, everyone. Today is the very last week of classes per se. Next week will be review, and the next week after that will be our final exams for the second partial. This is the very last topic that we're going to see, so remember to leave an empty space for the topic's name, and at the very right corner, today's date. Today is November 29th, 2021. Okay, a date that you need to remember like forever. So we're going to begin as usual with some of the definitions, okay? The first definition that we're going to have is measures of central tendency. Like I said before, this topic is a topic that we saw last school year, okay? But we're adding something else. So the measures of central tendencies, to understand a set of data, a group of numbers, you need to organize and summarize, okay, the data using measures of central tendency. Okay, so measures of central tendency will help you organize, summarize, understand, and represent with fewer numbers or with fewer data, the whole big amount of data that you have. We have several measures, okay? We have several measures of central tendency. The most used are the mean, the median, the mode, and the outlier. We're going to define each one of them, and then we're going to see how we find that information from a group of data. Okay, so the mean is used to describe the middle set, right in the middle set of a data that does not have an outlier. If the set of data has an outlier, then the mean is not representative, or it's not 100% representative. The mean is often referred to as the average. By the way, this measures of central tendency, especially the mean, is the one that's being used usually for all of this statistical information that we are receiving for the elections. So the measures of central tendency is what help us know so far who is winning in Honduras elections, okay? So the mean is the average. So for us to find the mean, we add up all of the numbers that we have, the data values, and we divided it into the amount of data values that we have. We're going to see that in the exercises that I have on the right of the screen. Okay, the definition says that if it does not have an outlier, and if it has an outlier, it is not representative. So what is an outlier? An outlier is a data value that is either much higher or much lower than the data values in the set. So a group of data values can have both a high outlier or a low outlier. So it is a value that's really off or really far from the data values that we have. Now, the median. The median is the middle value in the set when the numbers are arranged in order, okay? They need to be in order from the smallest to the greatest number. For a set containing an even amount of data items, then the median is the mean of the two middle data values. Okay, so you're going to add them up and divide them by 2. Now the mode. The mode is the data value or the data item that occurs the most. Okay, so it is possible to have a set with no mode, to have only one mode, or to have more than one mode. So it could be with more than one mode or with non-mode, okay? So mode in Spanish is moda. So remember that. Lo que está a la moda, okay? So it's the one that's repeated the most, the one that you see most frequently. And the last definition that we're adding is the range, okay? The range is the difference between the greatest value and the least data value. So you just need to subtract those values, okay? From the biggest one, you subtract the smallest one, and it gives you a measure of the spread of the data. And that's the definitions, okay? So let's see the first example. The first example that we have says, find all the measures of central tendency of, and you're given a set of data values. So we're going to find every single one of the measures of central tendency that we have just defined. Okay, so we're going to do the first step. Step one, reorder your numbers from the smallest to the greatest. Okay, that's the first thing, to reorder that. Okay, so what is the smallest data value that we have in this group of values? The smallest one. 10. And just to not get confused, I'm going to cross over it so I don't repeat a number that I already wrote. Okay, after 10, what number do we write?
15.
15. And we write it twice because we have a 15 twice. We have 15 and we have 15. After the two 15s, what number should I write? 18. And then
22.
22. And
25.
then 25. I'm going to cross it over again at the same time. So 22 and then 25. And then
28 and 35.
28 and then 35. And the very last number?
36.
36. And I rewrote it just so you have them in order. That's the step one. Okay, that's step number one. Then what are we going to do? We're going to find the mean, the median, the mode, the median, and the outlier, and the range. Okay, so the mean. For the mean, we're going to add all of our numbers. We're going to say 10 plus 15 plus 15 plus 18 plus 22 plus 25 plus 28 plus 35 plus 36, and everything is going to be divided by the amount of values that I have. So how many numbers do we have? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 9 numbers, okay? Now we are going to add that and simplify that, okay? So let's add 10 plus 15 plus 15 plus 18 plus 22 plus 25 plus 28 plus 35 plus 36. That will give me how much? How much does that give me? The addition of the numerator. Three, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15.
Miss,
Uh-huh.
204.
Exactly. 204 divided by 9. Okay. That's the fraction that I told you that was going to exist. Now we're going to pass this, and this is the only time that you can give me a decimal as an answer, because we're talking about measures of central tendency. So you can give me a decimal as an answer. So how much is 204 divided by 9? I need at least 2 numbers after the decimal point. Okay, so it doesn't take you that long because you need to do the procedure manually, and I need to see the procedure manually. I need you to do the division manually, where you place 9 on the outside and 204 on the outside. So I would like to have that as a procedure in your exam as well, and in your homework or classwork, sorry. So the answer is 22.6666666666. So we're going to round it to 2.67. 22.67. That's the mean. That's the average.
Miss,
okay?
but
Yes.
why 2.67?
If you divide the 204 by 9, it gives you 2.66666. Okay, so if I want to round that up, remember, numbers greater than 5 round up to the next number. So the 6 rounds up to 7. So that's why it is 22.67.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Now we're going to find the median. The median is the number that's right in the middle. Okay, the number right in the middle. of the whole data numbers when you have an odd amount of numbers. If you have an even amount of number, then you add the 2 ones in the middle and you divide it by 2. In this case, we have 9 values. So we do have a number that's right in the middle. Which one is it? Okay, the one that has 4 to one side and 4 to the other. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And it is the 5th element. That's the number right in the middle. You see, we have 4 to the left and 4 digits to the right. So right in the middle, we got the 22. And that's the median. Now we're going to find the mode. The mode is the number that's repeated the most.
Miss, but a question.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. You have your microphone muted.
I'm sorry. If we have 3 and 3, how do we do it? Like
Gonna see it-
3,
we're gonna
3.
We're going to see it on the other exercise when we have an even amount of numbers, okay? Right now, this is an odd amount. We're going to do it on the even one afterwards. Now, right now, we're looking for the mode. The mode is the number that's repeated the most. Do we have any number that's repeated at all?
Yes.
15.
15. So we do have a mode. The mode in this case is 15. Usually, when our measures of central tendency are representative, the mean and the median are really close. Our numbers are really, really close to each other, okay? So in this case, apparently it is representative, okay? The mean is 22.67 and the median is 22, so they're really close. Now, the mode is 15. It doesn't matter. The mode could be a number that's not that close to the mean or the median. Now, do we have an outlier? A number that's really big or a number that's really small? No, right? 10 is not that small compared to the 15, which is the smallest one. And 36 is just one unit from the previous number. So we don't have no outlier. So we're going to say that it does not apply. NA, okay? It does not apply. And the last one that we're going to find is the range. The range is the difference from the biggest number and the smallest number. So we're going to say the biggest number is always the one on the very right end, so 36, minus, and the smallest one is the one on the very left end, so minus 10. 36 minus 10, how much is that?
26.
26. So my data value is spread for 26 spaces or for 26 values, okay? And that is how you find the mean, the median, the mode, the outlier, and the range for a group of data values. Easy peasy, right? Okay, let's do the second exercise where our measures or our values, amount of values is not an odd number. So how do we find the median in that case? So the first step, what is the first step in this case? What is the
Reorder them from the
to
least to the
reorder?
greatest.
Exactly, to reorder from the smallest to the greatest. Now, this is an example of ages, okay? These are ages of classmates that you have in 8th B, okay? Not just them, or their families as well. So you have their ages of some of your classmates, some of their cousins, some of their siblings, okay? That's why we have that numbers in there. So we're gonna start reordering just like Kelly said. So this first number that we're gonna write is the smallest one, which is
12.
12.
12. And remember, I'm crossing it out just to be sure that I'm not rewriting numbers that I already wrote. After that, what should I write?
13,
13.
13, and 13.
3 times, right? We have 13 written 3 times. Okay. After the 3 13s, what should I go to write?
14, 14, 14.
So again, 14 is repeated 3 times. So I'm going to cancel them out. After that,
15 and 16.
15 and 16. And the last one is
28.
28.
28. Very good. So let's find the mean, the median, the mode, the range, and the outlier. The mean, remember, we add up all of the numbers. So 12 plus 13 plus 13 plus 13 plus 14 plus 14 plus 14 plus 15 plus 16 plus 28. And everything divided by how many values do we have? Let's count how many values do we have, okay? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 values, okay? So we're going to divide by 10. So let's add up. Okay, so 12 plus 13, 3 times. Yes.
152.
152. Everyone else got that? Because that's the answer. 152 divided by 10. And remember, this is the only case that I'm gonna have a decimal as an answer, not a fraction. So 152 divided by 10, that is 15.2. Okay, and I have my mean. I added all of my data values. Now my median. Now remember, the median, when we have odd amount of values, is right in the middle. In this case, we have even amount of values. So we're going to pick the two numbers that are right in the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So the two numbers right in the middle are 5 and 6. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to add them. So 14 plus 14, and we're going to divide them by 2. How much is 14 plus 14?
28.
So 28. And in this case, divided by 2 is how much? How much is 28 divided by 2?
14.
14. So since they were the same number, our median is 14. Sometimes it's not the same number. Sometimes it changes. Now the mode. What is the mode? Remember, the mode are the numbers that are repeated the most. What numbers do we have that are repeated the most? Mm-hmm.
13 and 14.
13 and 14.
Exactly. We have 13 repeated 3 times, and we also have 14 repeated 3 times. So our mode is 13 and 14, both of them. Now the outlier. Do we have an outlier? Do we have a number that's too small or too big compared to the rest of data values?
28.
28 is really big compared to the 16, okay? So 28. Now the range, it is the subtraction between the biggest number, which is 28, minus the smallest, which is 12. How much is 28 minus 12? Mm-hmm.
16.
16. Now, let's see why they say that if there is an outlier, it is not representative. You can see that we have as a mean 15.2 and as a median 14. So in this case, we had a difference of only 0.67 on the previous exercise. But in this one, we have a difference of 1.2. So the difference is greater compared to this one. Even though it is really close, the 14 to the 15.2, it is not completely representative. It might give us errors, okay? Now, what is the topic's name? It is over there in the definitions. What is the topic's name?
Measures of central tendency.
Exactly. Measures of central tendency is today's topic. Do you guys have any question about the topic? No, right? Easy peasy, breezy, lemon squeezy. Okay, so this
Yeah.
is,
Could you please explain again the first exercise since mode up to range? Because an ugly car passed by and I couldn't listen nothing about
The
the first
mode-
exercise.
the mode is the most repeated number. In this case, the number that's repeated the most is 15. Now the outlier, since the difference is not that big, 5. So it is does not apply. We place an A, not aplica. Okay, does not apply. And the range is the subtraction between the greatest number and the smallest one. So 36 minus 10, that's 26. And that is it. Okie dokie.